finally with the money. And she lives. And we all win.
Rashi, did you run here? It's pouring outside.
I can't stop thinking about Randy. Randy's sister, she said to me that I'm a murderer.
Rashi, this is not your fault. This is on Elio, not yours.
I still feel responsible, Veronica.
To get to do this Zoom and interview these lovely ladies. First, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. I know you guys are all busy. You guys all have your own big teams, and you didn't have to give us your time tonight. So thank you so, so much. I know it's the weekend. And thank you to everyone who hopped on. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys are taking this time to grow your business and learn more about how to just grow your business. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Rhonda is recording this for us, so there will be a recording if your team is asking. I think that this is going to help a lot of people. So I was wondering if you three would just go ahead and introduce yourself. Maybe we can start with Rhonda, and then we can just continue down the list. If you guys can introduce yourself, tell a little bit about how you found the industry, why you love it, how it's changed your life. You guys know what you're doing.
Rise money.
Awesome, fantastic. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you very much, April, for the invitation and to be able to share tonight. My name is Rhonda Hartman, and I've been with It Works now for, 8.5 years. I can't believe it. When I came into the business with It Works, I had been with another company for about 10 years. So at that phase in my life, I was able to be the stay-at-home mom with her kids, like maybe many of you are. So I have experienced all of that. And now coming into a new phase in my life, I found It Works when I was 49 years old. You know, it's never too late to begin. It's never too late to jump in and experience something as incredible as what we have our hands on here. So I'm really excited to be here. I've got 3 kids of my own, 3 beautiful daughters and 6 grandkids, and dang it, life is good. We have the best programs and the best products anywhere. So I'm just thrilled to be here with you guys tonight.
Well, I guess I'll go next. I'm not sure if we're supposed to unmute ourselves. I'm Stacy Schaefer, and I have been in the business as well for a little over 8 years. And I'm excited to be here too, even though sometimes I deny that I am the age that I am. I'm 51. And I, like Rhonda, was in direct sales previously. Never an MLM, but I agree with Rhonda. It's never too late. And, you know, it's just a matter of keeping an open mind, and this business has completely changed my life, everything about it, and especially my attitude. It's like the best place. I love it. So that's it.
I love it. Thank you for just hopping on and unmuting yourself. I should have said that. Wow, it's interesting to me that you both did something like this before. It shows that you just wanted to be your own boss, right? It just kept shining through. And Carolyn or Caroline, I'm not sure because I think we all call you something else in It Works. So you want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself? That'd be awesome.
So, yes, my name is Carolyn Bledsoe, but no one calls me Carolyn Bledsoe. Everyone calls me Mama B. And I might be the oldest one in this group. I'm not really sure. So I am 58 years old, and I've been with It Works. I haven't even hit my 2-year anniversary yet. And so when I joined this business, I had gone through a divorce, and my daughter had joined the business. And at the time that she joined, I was driving a tractor trailer. I drove a truck for 20 years, you guys, and I got very, very depressed after my divorce, and I had a really bad health scare, and my daughter wanted me to use the products, and the business, they have totally changed my life. I have never done network marketing ever, never before in my life. So if any of you all are watching this right now and you think you can't do this, that you don't have the experience, you guys, I didn't have the experience, but I had a why. And my why was to build a future for myself that I didn't have a plan B when my marriage ended. And this has given me my plan B. And this has given me a fresh start in my life. And I'm telling you guys, you're never too old to get started.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry. That was so inspiring. Wow, I love it. Okay, so maybe we'll just stick with that order. We can go Rhonda, Stacy, Mama B. I just have, I hope I'm not cutting out. If I am, let me know. But I wanted to say, we wanted to do this Zoom one for everyone, because I think it doesn't matter what age you are. Anyone who's in the business and active in their business can inspire you. But, I wanted to also talk to the people who sign up, and maybe they're not in their 20s, maybe they're not in their early 30s, so they're not super active on social media, they're not coming in with 1,000 Facebook friends, and they feel like they have this handicap on them. And I know that that's not true, but I wanted them to hear that from ladies who've lived it and just came in. So I was wondering if in that order we could go through and address that a little bit, but also talk about how you started. Like, what did your first few weeks look like? What did you do to get your business off the ground? Because I'm pretty sure none of you just started Happing your first day like we do now, right? Hap wasn't around. Well, maybe it was for Mama B, but how did you launch your business, and what did that look like for you?
Yeah, awesome. So when I came into the business, I found this on Facebook. It was a little advertisement that was running down the side of my Facebook screen, and quite honestly, I was looking to find a way that I could do something for the past business that I had, because the economy had shifted. It was, it shifted about 2007, 8, and it was a really difficult business because unlike the products that we have here, April, that are so personal, like home decor and candles and things like that, like people weren't buying because they were holding back. The economy was not in a good place. So when I saw this little advertisement, because I had the experience that I had in direct sales, I realized when I clicked that link that it was a replicated website, just like what we have now in It Works. And I thought, holy cow, like what does what to your body in 45 minutes, right? So I was excited as a woman. I wasn't looking for anything to create income or anything like that. So I just clicked the ad. And when I realized that it was a replicated site, I emailed It Works and I said, I want to talk to somebody in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Yeah, and so what happened is I ended up getting a phone call from somebody who was then a VIP, a triple diamond and above at that time, and they called me from another state. And so we had a conversation on the phone, a total and complete stranger. Okay, so when we talk about, we're all weird sometimes about networking with strangers and meeting new people and things like that. I think it's so important to remember that, I signed up sight unseen with a complete and total stranger after a short phone conversation. I asked a few questions, she answered, and don't worry about being polished either, because she was not polished. It was like, I said, it really works. She said, yeah, I'll text you a couple pictures. I said, okay. She sent me the pictures and I said, so you're really making money, like this is really working. And her response was, yeah, I made like $6 grand last month as my bonus. And I was like, what in the world? How do I not know about this? So the way our family was living at that time, we didn't have an extra $100 for me to join the business. But I was so darn excited about the concept of what that product could do for my belly that I was like, if I want it this much, I know other women are going to want this too. So I just said, what do I have to do? And I signed up. And I say that then to later go to my husband and say, I did a thing. And he said, what? I said, I signed up for this business. And he said, what is it? And I said, I really don't know. So again, another tip, you don't have to know everything. And the people you're talking to, they don't need to know everything either. It just depends on their personality. But I was so excited, you guys. I had volunteered at a community event the day that my wraps arrived, that I got my kit. And so I had a girlfriend that had met me. She lived about an hour and a half away. I was a beer wench, okay? I was serving beer at a community event. And my girlfriend came and hung out the entire time just so that we could get a wrap on afterwards. And so we came home, back to my house, we both wrapped. She drove her hour and a half home. We got on the phone and said, oh my gosh, this is incredible. So it was truly the excitement that launched my business. It wasn't any kind of expertise. I didn't have the knowledge about the products. There was no host to post, like April said. It was just sheer enthusiasm. And of course, Facebook then was not what Facebook is today, but it was a source for me to be able to connect with people and to reach out and share that enthusiasm that I had. You know, sometimes I think we can get a little critical of ourselves and think, well, we're too worried. Okay, let's get real. We're just too worried about what somebody else is going to think about what we're posting on our social media. And a lot of times that procrastination, because of that fear, literally halts us in our business. But for me, my choices were a lot of capital letters and a lot of exclamation points, okay? There wasn't a whole lot of grammar involved. It was just the reader on the other end could feel my enthusiasm. And, you know, at the phase that I was in, 49 years old, I still had one teenage daughter at home. The other girls were already gone. So I didn't have like small children at home to take care of. So I literally just went all in with my enthusiasm. It was everything, as many people as I could communicate with and I could talk to about the products that I had my hands on. And the options were, you can be a customer or you can join the business and make money with me. And it wasn't but for another month before I even realized I had a commission check for $87, you know? I mean, it wasn't like anything to write home with. It was just simply the idea that these are incredible products and the opportunity really does work. And then of course, we all know that it's month after month, you just decide, are you gonna double, triple, quadruple that income? How many more people can you share with? And I mean, in a nutshell, honestly, that is my truth. It was a lot of excitement and enthusiasm, and I just connected with as many people as I could, April. I mean, that's the long and short of it, I guess.
That was so good. That got me so excited. I feel like if we all just got really excited again, our checks would triple. Sometimes we get used to what we have, you know? And like if I just went and talked to every mom I ever met and said, did you know I can make 5 figures from my phone? They'd be in. But it's like we get complacent with it. But okay, one question to just a detail. I was wondering when you were talking, where did you find these people? When you said you talked to all these people, where did you find them?
They were my Facebook friends. So they were people that I was connected with. I mean, otherwise, obviously, I had friends that I actually picked up the phone and called. I don't even think I could text back then. But I just, I know, crazy, right? But I just literally, I was messaging people. I would put up posts about my excitement about this product that could literally like change your body. And that was the kind of verbiage that it was. It wasn't, we didn't say you could lose weight or anything crazy like that. It was just, oh my gosh, like, this is incredible what's happening to our skin. Like you should see our before and after pictures and things like that to just create maybe intrigue without intentionally doing that. And so when people would respond with a like or a comment, God, we didn't even have hearts back then. We couldn't even throw any love on somebody's post. I feel like a dinosaur when I talk about the old days of Facebook, but seriously, I'm gonna crack up here, but just communicating, you know, sending messages, not unlike what we do today. That platform is a connector. You know, whatever you do, no matter what age group you're in, whether you're somebody who's super savvy or you're like, I just don't even really know how to do Facebook. Figure it out. It's just a way to connect with people. And so when you can get in their inbox and you can have a conversation with them about your enthusiasm, and my gosh, today we've got voice memo. So you can actually talk to somebody through your messages. We couldn't do that back then. So there's so many improvements, I think, that will just really create that. I mean, I think for most people, when they very first come on board, I mean, we always look at the chicken soup list, right? So who would bring you chicken soup if you didn't feel well? Those are no-brainers that you pick up the phone and have that dialogue with. And just share your excitement. What is it you're excited about? What product got you going? You know what I mean?
Well, and you don't need very many people. Like if you have 2 people that jump in with you, but then they have 2 people and we all think, oh, but I don't have 3,000 friends on Facebook. I'm like, you know that it was 5 people that I ran with for my first promotions. It wasn't 3, right? So I think that's a good reminder too, like start small and go from there.
Well, and you look at it, and now literally it's 3 legs all the way to the top of the company. 3 legs. Yeah. So it's like, you know, is it always through the first 3 people? No, not necessarily. But when you look at the big picture, it doesn't take much. You just got to find some individuals who are willing to be excited and set some goals and a why for themselves and then work for that.
Well, exactly.
Mm.
And you're right about Facebook being a connector, because I think if you take someone who's good at connections, it doesn't matter what platform you put them on, they're going to succeed. I would work on the connecting side of it before you even work on the platform side of it. Like, you think Cami Pentecost, how she gets in there and she gets in their network and their network. She's the queen of networking, and you can put her on any platform, it wouldn't matter, and she would network the crap out of it. But it's that connecting skill. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that one is there's a really good book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Is that the one that's good for connecting, I think? Anyways, we won't stick there. That's not what you guys came to hear. Okay, so Stacy, do you want to talk about what your first few weeks looked like and how you launched your business?
Hold on. See how technologically challenged I am occasionally? I'm here. Well, I actually kind of came across this business on Facebook too, but in a little bit different manner. And I actually, Rhonda and I were in the same business previously, but I didn't really know her. I knew of her. And I had a couple other people that I was in business with that kept posting about this wrap thing. And then I got invited to a party. And for me, I was super broke, just life circumstances, had gone through a divorce, remarried. My husband had been laid off for months and months at a time. We were selling things to just really stay afloat, which was just not great, right? I was in the mode of praying for something to fall from the sky. And at that age, I had applied for 50 jobs the previous year, 50. And because of my age, even though they say that doesn't matter, I didn't get any jobs. And I was praying for something to fall out of the sky. I went to this party. I tried to rap because that was the thing. And it really still is, you guys. We have to talk about them more, I'm telling you. I saw all these women get these fantastic results. I saw the rap lady have this cash jar just full of cash. There was like 16 people at that party. And I left there wanting to try another rap and maybe having a party of my own. And so I did book a party. And it was December 2011 that I booked the party. But I decided with all that cash in that jar, I should become a distributor, because maybe this was what I had been praying for to fall from the sky, but I didn't have $100. So guess what I did? I pre-sold wraps, and I pre-sold 28 wraps in 2 weeks. Yeah. And then, so I was super excited because I got amazing results. So I, like Rhonda, was like telling everybody, oh my gosh, you've got to try this. You just have to. And oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun. You got to do this with me. So I didn't have the money to start, but I actually started with $700 in pre-sold wraps and bought tons of product and wraps for my party. I wrapped 84 live people in December. You guys, just to say that first month changed my life. You know, going from, my youngest at the time was 15. But going from not knowing how we were going to have Christmas to, I made a ton of just cash that month. And because I came from a party plan business, I was like, well, I'm just going to keep holding parties, because I used to have to carry 100 pounds worth of stuff, set up for a half hour, take down for a half hour. And now I could carry this little tiny bag that weighed like, what, a pound? Show up 2 minutes before the party. Okay, who's getting their wrap on? And that's really, I networked on Facebook just like Rhonda, because that's a connector. But I will tell you, I have at least five times as many friends as I did when I started, because I've learned how to network. And you know what's great, I think, about being our age is that, you know, we don't always have to know everything. I have plenty of great young people on my team that teach us TikTok, as an example. You know, we can utilize everybody's skills, and so that's kind of what I did, and what I still do is I network. I love host to post. We didn't have that back then, and it's literally just your pants on fire enthusiasm. And I'm just going to tell you, social media is great, but it is so easy to build in person. It really is, and I know that they went through that at conference too. Face to face, there's nothing like it. You can pull in so much more in a 1 hour party than you can working on social media all month long. Seriously. So I really I'm excited because tomorrow I have a live party, and I haven't done one for a really long time. And I'm super excited about it because I know what's going to come from it, just that in person. And, you know, it's anybody, any age can do this. It's really all a mindset. It is all a mindset, and being willing to learn and grow and utilize the skills of the people around you. We don't have to know everything. I didn't know everything. I still don't. And Rhonda will laugh because she probably remembers when I first started, I asked my upline, my sponsor, her upline, and Rhonda how you made money, and nobody knew. So at my parties, you know, and I was saying, oh my gosh, you got to do this with me. It's $100, get in. They were saying, well, how do you make money? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm having a really good time. You got to do it too. And guess what? I sponsored. So, you know, it's the enthusiasm is what sells it. It doesn't matter if you're technologically advanced or not. You know, I have a potential distributor that's my age. Yesterday, I worked with her for hours on and off, trying to teach her how to copy and paste something. So, you know, it's really a matter of practice. I didn't always know how to do it either. And, you know, of course, our kids, none of my kids, I don't have the advantage that my kids are on social media. They're on there, but they don't use it even like I do. And so I can't even go to them for help. So I've kind of winged it a lot and learned on my own, and there's videos, and we just, you know, I feel like because our generation grew up with encyclopedias and not Google, we forget that we can literally find out how to do anything online. You know, that wasn't there for us when we were younger. So, I mean, that's basically how I launched. Enthusiasm. So you can do it.
For you, I have a question for you. So how did you find those, what did you say, 28 people that you pre-sold wraps to, and then the 80 something people that you wrapped? Like,
oh, there you go.
All of us who are
Okay.
sitting here working on social media, we're like, how does she find humans? Like, what's that? You know, what do you do?
Okay. So what I did is when I told you I booked that party for myself, and when I decided I was going to become a distributor, I reached out to I invited all my Facebook friends. And at the time, I think I had like 400. And I invited every single one of my Facebook friends. I didn't care who they were, if they were a man or a woman or where they lived. I invited them. And I reached out to every single person that I had invited that said yes or maybe. And Facebook events even were different back then. And I just asked them if they wanted to try it. And I told them that the wrap lady needed $25 to reserve their wrap in their name. They didn't know any different. And I was the wrap lady. They didn't know that. At the time, they didn't know that. So I just collected money however I could, literally checks. I met people with cash. I don't think I even had PayPal or anything. There was no Venmo. There was none of that. It was either cash or in person. And then as far as wrapping people, I held 6 live parties, maybe 8 in December, including my very first launch party in which I had 17 people there. Why? Because I invited, 400 people. There was bodies on top of bodies. The only thing I knew about was these wraps, these green things, which I didn't know much about. And that's really mostly what I talked about. I sold a lot of wraps and greens together. I just kept booking parties. I mean, I think it's because when you're in person and you're having fun and laughing and you're not perfect, people want to have that experience too. So I wrapped very few people one-on-one. It was mostly parties and how many people can you get there? Let's wrap them all. So that's what I spent my December doing. And so, there's Christmas. My birthday's in December. My son's birthday's in December, one of them. And I make like 5,000 cookies every year. And I have since I was 19, and I'll never stop. So I don't ever like the excuse that December's too busy or people have no money. Oh my gosh, that's just not true. So I opened my mouth everywhere I went.
So do you talk to people? Do you still build in person, or no? You said you.
I actually haven't been for a while. I really want to, and I think for me it's a mindset. I'm older. I can't see as well at night to drive anymore. Can't drive in the rain. I live in Washington State. That's just not a good combination. So I've been kind of holding myself back, but I'm like, you know what? There's other days when it's daylight that I can do parties. And so I just decided to try to relaunch some local distributors that are around here and see where it takes me from there, you know, and just help them launch. And that's kind of what I did in the beginning. I went with every new distributor I brought in, I'd go and do their launch party with them, and I'd do their first couple parties, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And I asked everybody, you know, let's get together. So I got to do that again.
Yeah.
So in between, I built on social
Sorry, I'm
media.
freezing.
Oh, it's okay. In between, I built on social media, but you know, I really in my heart know that in person for me is the best way and the fastest way to build. It's the most solid, I feel like.
You know what? You're right. We've been building locally the last year, and it is really strong. And people just need other people. It's all about
Yes.
connection. Oh, I love
Yes,
that. Thank
it
you.
is.
I feel like we all have so many questions now about building. Mama, sorry, I'm
Okay.
freezing.
All right. So when I started, I was driving an 18-wheeler. So my clientele, the people that I was running into were truck drivers at truck stops. So I basically built my business from Facebook, from doing Facebook Lives. And every morning before I got on the road driving my truck, I went into the truck stop. I made my skinny coffee. I propped my phone up. Everyone thought I was a nutcase, you know, because I'd have my phone propped up on a napkin holder or whatever. And I'm doing this Facebook Live. And, you know, I would have truck drivers like come up and start talking to me during the Facebook Live. Girl, what are you doing? And I think from the very beginning, people were able to see that I was just someone that was not a pro. I was just a normal person that was using these products and just trying to build something for myself. And you know what I will encourage each of you to is you don't have to have a script. If you speak from your heart, and once you grasp what this business is, and like I said at the arena last week, when you feel it in here, it's going to come out of here, and you're not going to sound like someone that's robotic. You know, I never write anything down before I talk. Whatever comes out of my mouth is what I feel God lays on my heart, and that's what people need to hear. But I built my business from Facebook Lives, and I took people on a journey with me for me to get out of the truck. I started a calendar countdown. I had this ugly lime green poster board from the Dollar Tree that I wrote 100 days on it. And I got my audience involved in my journey. I got them involved in every night. They waited for me to jump on after I parked my truck. Sometimes it would be 10 and 11 o'clock at night. But people showed up. They were ready for me to use that red magic marker and mark one more day off that calendar, because I proclaimed in August of 2018 that God told me that in 100 days I would be out of that truck. And every day, I didn't even know how it was going to happen, you guys, because I was an emerald when I made that chart. And I was like, I can't retire on Emerald pay. Y'all know what emeralds make. I could not walk away from my full-time career on Emerald pay, but I stepped out in faith. I believed that God brought this into my life. And I said, you know, God laid it on my heart that in 100 days I would be out of the truck. I made that darn calendar. And if you all were not at conference and you did not hear what I said, the day after I did my first Facebook Live, marking off the first day on that calendar, a husband and wife couple that had been following my journey for actually I didn't start till March. So from March until August, when I made that calendar, and I can't figure out how many months that was, 6 months, they were watching me. They were watching me lose weight on the products. They were watching me build my business from the truck. And I needed that diamond bonus at the end of August. And when I made that big ugly calendar, which I still have, it is in my room because I just moved and I just found it in the box. It's going to go with me wherever I go because it was like a defining moment in my business. But you know, I did that Facebook Live. I said, in 100 days, God says I'm going to be out of this truck. And in my mind, I'm thinking, God, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm trusting you. And the very next day, this husband and wife, they called me, and I was 2,500 volume from Going Diamond. They ordered 2,500 volume from me, a husband and wife. One of them ordered 1,250, the other one ordered 1,250. Y'all all know that does not happen in this business. People don't order 1,250 volume from me. I was just trying to figure out how to get 400 here, 400 here, I was like, y'all got a bunch of different addresses. Anyway, we were able to do 2 separate orders, so at least it got me to my diamond, so I earned that bonus. But it was a defining moment in my business for me to take people on that journey with me. And when you can take people on your journey and make them a part of, people like to cheer on the underdog, you guys. They do. They want to cheer. From what I've seen in my 58 years of living, you guys, this is me just speaking what I've experienced in my life. I want to root for the person. I want to see them win. I want to see that team that never makes it to the Super Bowl. I want to see them win. That's kind of like what this business is. If you take people on that journey, that because other people can relate, other people, y'all, we live in a world of people that struggle day in and day out, and we have a way out for them. But if you never open your mouth, if you never share the excitement, if you never share the goodness of what this business has done for you, you're missing so many opportunities. I talk to everyone. Besides building on Facebook Lives, I'm just going to give y'all a little tip of something I have. I try to think outside the box because, again, I'm not computer savvy. I can do Facebook Lives, but as far as y'all haven't learned how to TikTok, I figure I'm going to get my dancing moves on. I'm going to learn how to do a TikTok, and someone's going to show me how to do that darn thing. I haven't figured out how to do it, but I'm going to learn how to do it. But another way I build is, like Rhonda and we're saying, belly to belly. You know, I'm old school. I believe in having conversations with people. I believe in picking up the phone and calling people instead of just using my thumb and texting. When people can hear your voice and they can hear your excitement, it transfers to them. They have FOMO. They're like, well, I want whatever Kool-Aid she's drinking. I want some of that too, because she's awful happy and she's awful excited all the time. So one of the things that I have found has worked for me is, if any of you all go to nail salons or you go to get your hair cut, if you're ever sitting in a nail salon and you're getting a pedicure, y'all, pick a busy time when that nail salon is busy. And if you're in a pedicure chair and there's other women in those pedicure chairs, they can't move. You have a captive audience. They're there. They're going to hear your conversation. So I normally plan it with one of my leaders. I normally call one of them and I do it on speakerphone so they can hear everyone can hear the conversation, what's going on. And like, I'll call one of my leaders and I'll say, hey, did you get your Skinny coffee? How's it working for you? Or, you know, talk about the products. And they're actually using the products. So I'm not being deceitful in that way, but because I believe in being honest and always. So you call someone that's on your team and you have this conversation and you're like, yeah, I cannot believe that I am down 80 pounds from drinking this darn, who would have thought just drinking coffee could make me lose all this weight? How much have you lost? And, you know, the girl on the other line's telling me she's lost 30 or 40 pounds. I am telling you, every single time I've done this, as soon as I finish that call, the people that are in the pedicure chairs or getting their nails done, they're like, I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but can you tell me what the heck are you talking about? And I usually sign customers every single time. And, but dressing rooms are another place, you guys, you know, go when it's a busy time, when they're having sales. And, you know, I've been there with my daughter before, and she'll be in one dressing room and I'll be in another, and I'm talking loud. Y'all don't think I talk loud all the time, do you? Anyway, I talk loud sometimes. Anyway, I'll have a conversation with Heather in the next stall, or I'll call Heather on the phone, or fake call my daughter on the phone and say, oh my God, Heather, I can't believe it. I'm down another size. Man, I am so glad you got me drinking this coffee, got me using these products. And, you know, I can't believe I've gone from a size 22 to a size 14. And y'all, they're waiting for me when I come out of the dressing room. Women are waiting for me when I come out of the dressing room. They want to know what I'm doing. Talking in line when you're at a cashier, like I go to the register and I'm like, I go to the busiest cash register in the department store, and I'll say to the cashier, oh my gosh, I know I got a lot of stuff on the sales rack, but I'm dropping weight like crazy. You know, I've gone from a size 22 to size 14, and I don't want to pay a lot of money for clothes because I'm still losing weight. They have followed me out of the department store to sign up and be my customer. You've got to think outside of the box, you guys. People are always listening. Women are eavesdroppers, you guys. I mean, we like to hear the conversation at the next table. We want to hear all that juicy stuff, and you've got to take advantage of those kind of things. So that's basically how I built my business. And if you all always remember why you joined the business, I know that the hard work that I'm doing now is so much easier hard work than me driving a tractor trailer 70 hours a week and missing time with my kids, with my mom, with all the people that I love. I would rather do this hard work. I would rather put 14 hours a day in doing this to build a legacy for my children and control my own time than go back to driving a truck 70 hours a week. So you got to choose your heart. You got to just make a decision that you are all in this. And the only way you'll fail at this business is if you quit. There's no way to fail unless you quit. And that's it.
You gave me goosebumps a few times. I almost cried. Oh, it's so emotional for me. When you said that you made the calendar and you crossed it off, that really spoke to me because I've been learning so much about commitment. And I know about commitment. I mean, you know, any of us who've gone VIP or higher, we're clearly committed. But then there's another level of commitment where you tell people about it and you put it out there. And it's not a coincidence that the day you marked off the first day, you got that huge order. Like when you commit, your blessings can find you. And otherwise, they're just as confused as you are if you haven't committed yet. Like that loud commitment that is everything. It will transform your business. It's crazy. I love that you did that. I love that you shared that. I have so many questions for you guys, but I wanted to say, if you guys want to go ahead and put your questions in the chat, because I want to answer the questions that you guys have for these ladies. And while you put them in the chat, I just want to ask a quick question. And it's just what's on my heart. I don't know where it's coming from, but we'll start back with Rhonda, Stacy, Mama B. If you guys could go back to the beginning, what would you tell yourself? Like, what encouragement would you give yourself, or what would you say?
Goodness. I probably could have kept better records. Honestly, I missed out on a lot of people signing up as customers or distributors. I talked to the masses, but in the beginning, I didn't utilize a written contact list. You know, today I have my iPhone and I make lists in my phone. So every single communication I have with someone, it goes in my phone. And that way I can reflect back and I can see the date and if there was any particular notes, coffee, or whatever our conversation was. So I think that could have really substantially changed my business. I mean, my business grew quickly and effectively, being on, you know, ignorance on fire, more or less, like Stacy was talking about. But that for me, I think would be something that I would do better. And I would strongly recommend that you take heed to that information yourselves if you haven't already done it. Because I missed out on probably a good 2 or 3 years where I was just kind of winging it and trying to remember who I was talking to. And that didn't work out so well. Good question, April.
Stacy, do you want to just hop on?
Maybe. Oh, see, I keep hitting 2 buttons at one time. Sorry. I agree with Rhonda on that. I missed out on customers because, like, I didn't know how to respond to them, like when they wouldn't have results. And I think now it's a little bit different in the fact that there's more people to ask, like, what do you say? You know what I'm saying? But for me, what I would tell myself personally is to keep running and not stop. just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Don't take a break, just keep going. And that's my biggest tip. Just start and don't stop.
Just keep going. Yeah, commit when it's easy and commit when it's
That's
hard.
right. Yep.
Well, can I add one little thing really quick? Because as I was listening to Stacy, I thought, you know, there is something else. And in the first couple of years of my journey, even into probably the first 5 years, I had a pretty thin skin. So, you know, in our business, people come and people go. And sometimes we have a tendency to look at ourselves and feel like somehow there's something wrong with us. And that's why somebody has left the business, or somebody has quit, or, you know, decided it wasn't for them. So I can think of quite a few times where, you know, something would happen and it would kind of wreck me. It would wreck my day. I might not be productive for a day or two, and then it'd get back up again. But sometimes it comes in waves. Like, I mean, you have to look at our business model. We work with volunteers. So everybody that joins our business is a volunteer, and people will make choices that are the best for them. And we can't take that personally. So probably more self-development, because that is what reinforces that and makes you a stronger business person. Today, we're all about it, but back then it wasn't so much. Thank you. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yes, no, I wish I had started personal. I didn't start it till after, you know what? I read my first full book after I went ambassador, and I find that embarrassing to admit. And I made a lot of mistakes I could have avoided, and I burnt a lot of bridges. I could have avoided that. But when you know better, do better. And we're telling you, don't wait as long as we did to ending at having thicker skin. I think as women, we probably 90% of us struggle with that. We don't want to be told no. We think they're saying no to us, but they're not. Yeah, it's so good. I'm glad that you shared that. Stacy, were you done? Were we going to Mama B? I don't want to cut anyone off.
Should I go?
Yes.
Okay, so what would I tell myself if I had a chance to go back? I probably would tell myself more that I was worthy and that I deserve this, and that my past doesn't decide my future. And again, a lot of this is what we're talking about, like self-development and things like that. Because I was coming from a really, really broken place when I signed up to do this business. And, you know, if you all didn't hear my story on stage, I mean, one of the reasons I got involved to do this business was my daughter got a telephone call from me that I wanted to end my life. And so when I say I was broken, I was really, really broken. I didn't know how I was going to pick up the pieces. And so for me, I think I've always been one to worry more about what other people thought of me instead of thinking of what I thought of me and realizing my self-worth, and not letting other people's thoughts of me determine what I'm capable of. So if I could go back, it would probably be, I would have done more self-development from the very beginning. I'm doing it now. And I have probably for like the last year, but in the beginning, I wasn't doing any kind of self-development. You know, look, you guys, I'm old school. Again, I'm 58 years old. It wasn't the popular thing to go and talk to a counselor and deal with life. It was, you just suck it up, you handle it on your own, you don't get other people involved, you don't air your dirty laundry. You know, I hid my divorce for 2 years because I lived in a small town. I was ashamed. I felt shame from my marriage ending. And it wasn't until I woke up one morning and I was being rushed to the hospital in this little small town because they thought I had had a stroke. And I had to call my daughter in Maryland. She had to rush down to North Carolina. And the first question the ER doctor asked me was, how can we get a hold of your husband? And rather than me thinking about the fact that I possibly am having a stroke right now because my face was paralyzed, all was in my mind and I started bawling was, oh my God, everyone's going to know I got divorced, because I had hidden it. I tell you, if you can just let things go, like, life happens, you guys. Life can happen to all of us at the drop of a hat. We can lose our jobs. And what you need to understand is when you're talking to people and you're telling them about what this business has done for you, you need to understand that the people on the other end of your conversation, you don't know what they're going through. They could be that person like me that was hiding it and was ashamed and they didn't want anyone to know, but you're going to be that one person that's going to reach them and let them know that they don't have to be ashamed. They can start again, no matter what's happened. So, you know, I don't know if I've rambled and not answered your question. I'm not sure. So that would be the one. That would be the one thing, is just understanding that what you're going through and the reason you join this business is so important to get that out from the very beginning. Don't just be a Vanna White holding up a product. That's not what we do, you guys. That's not what we want to encourage our teams to do. We want to encourage us to share what the products, how it's improved your health and what the business has done to improve your life. You know, I did a Facebook Live before I came on here. I did something for the first time. I'm 58 years old. I went to a furniture store and I paid cash, $5,000 for brand new furniture in my very own. This is the first place I've ever owned on my own since I became an adult. Like, it was the guy was like, are you sure you don't want to get a credit card? We can charge us. I'm like, heck no, I don't have any credit card. That felt so amazing. Y'all, I'm going to be shouting this from the rooftop. I'm going to be sharing, because people are going to say, girl, how did you have $5,000 to walk into a furniture store? I mean, you got to share these things, you guys. I mean, you have to be able to do that. But I just had to give myself a pat on the back because I was so excited because I was able to pay cash for my own furniture.
I feel like you ladies are preaching tonight. I'm just like, take it away, because I don't know exactly what we were going to talk about, but I just felt like the Zoom needed to happen. So that was so good. Thank you for everything you just shared. I know that was really vulnerable, and you know, you're just putting it out there because you know it's going to help. Our wins aren't what help other people. It's what we go through and keep going that inspires them, right? When you were talking, somebody said, what if we don't have a story like that though? How would you answer that?
Everyone has a story. It's not my story, but there is not one person that's on this Zoom. You have a story. You have a reason why you joined this business. I don't know what it is for each and every one of you, but there is a reason, whether it's to put gas in your car, pay for your tuition, pay for a vacation. There is a story in all of us, but my story isn't what everyone else's story is. And if you don't know what that is, then you need to do some deep soul searching when you get off this Zoom and realize you have a story. Whoever made that comment, you have a story. Every single person has a reason why they joined this business, and you've just got to dig down deep and understand what that is.
Yep, that's so true. You know, I mean, I could sum up my story and say, well, I just wanted to make $500. And then I would think, oh, that's my whole story. But that's not fun to tell, but that's not true. I had just had a baby. We were just posted to where the cost of living had doubled. I didn't want to be broke. I was like, we've always had 2 incomes. We had paid off our car and went from that to having a baby. Everything got so much more expensive. I didn't want to be broke. I wanted to say yes to my daughter. I wanted to have money. You know, like there's so much more to my story than I wanted to make $500. But you got to dig deeper. Like when you saw that girl make the post on Facebook that made you say yes, what was it? Why did you want to say yes? You know, like she said, you just got to dig deeper, because I thought that too. Oh, my story is I wanted to make $500, but it's so much bigger than that. You just have to get a little vulnerable. And that's the word a lot of us don't like, because then people could judge us. But you know what? The right ones aren't going to judge you. They're going to join you, but you've got to get vulnerable to find them. Okay. Sorry.
Another thing, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm so sorry, but you know, now it's not about my story. It's about my purpose. Your story now, like for me, it's not about what I lived through and what I walked through. It's about my purpose now to help other people that are walking through trying times. So your story then becomes your purpose to change other people's lives. And, you know, that's what I wake up like. It's the messages that I get every day from women saying, please don't ever stop sharing what you went through, because you are reaching out to so many people. And when you realize you've now been given a purpose in life to change other people's lives, nothing will shut you up. You will talk. My team tells me that I would talk to a cockroach. Well, if they need help, I'll talk to a cockroach. I don't care. So, so make your story. If you don't feel you have a story, then figure out what your purpose is. And that might be what you need to focus on.
That's so true. That's so true. And you'll find that the deeper you dig, and then the longer you're in the business too, right? The last question, I want to end this in 10 minutes. Like, I'd like to keep it to an hour if possible. And one question that was asked twice in there was, how did you guys find your first distributors? So I know that is a question that always gets asked, but people are clearly wondering that. So why don't we go through that, and then we'll let everyone go.
Absolutely. And that's a great question. And I love to answer this question because I grew up in the Pacific Northwest and didn't move to the South, to Georgia, until the year 2007. So when I enrolled with It Works, it was in 2011, in the fall of 2011. And when I started using my Facebook and posting about my enthusiasm and my excitement, my team grew in Washington State before it ever grew here in Georgia, because the people who knew and trusted me, they knew who I was. They knew I wouldn't put something shady on my social media, because they knew me. We either went to, school together, or we worked together, or we were neighbors, or we were friends or family. So those were the people that first reached out to me, and that was where my team began to grow. So, I mean, I asked everybody, don't get me wrong, I think that's so important, that you offer to every single person. Never try to judge a situation and think, this person is going to be my customer, this person is going to be my distributor, because then you're really doing yourself an injustice, because one of the things like Carolyn said so great about some of us, especially some of us that are a little bit older. I think it's across the board. I'm 57, and I know I grew up never talking about any issues or any personal business. Like, we just didn't. I mean, my first counseling came when I was in my 50s, so when you think in terms of that, the people that know and trust you are the people that you're gonna offer both to. And then from that point on, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You just offer it to everybody and let them make the decisions, because somebody's life can look really perfect, especially through social media, but it's so easy to look at that and think that they would never. I learned a lesson long, long ago, not to prejudge someone, and that's why I'm sharing that with you now. We can think that one person has everything they need and that they would never need it, and they can be buried in debt and have so much stress and so much heartache in their life. And when you make that offer, you could be that one person that changes their life. I made a mistake and didn't do that, and had someone start another business years ago, and it taught me a really valid lesson. So yeah, I would say you don't have to be local, that's for sure. So just talk to everybody.
I had the same
Okay.
thing happen to me. Oh, I was gonna say I had the same thing happen to me. I didn't ask a girl because I thought her life was too perfect. And she was married to one of Drew's best friends, and she joined another company and went right to the top. So nope, just ask everyone. You never know. Sorry, Stacy, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I was actually thrilled because I got myself unmuted without taking my video off. My very first distributor that I signed was actually a stranger. And this is how excited I was. And actually, at the first training that we did in Washington State, Rhonda will remember this, we wrapped her live. We used to do that at trainings all the time. We'd wrap a guest. And she was my guest. She had called me to do a vendor event for the other business that I was in before. And I said, I don't do that anymore. And I had actually started another business a few months before, just dabbling. And I was going to tell her about that. And I was like, but wait, I just started this other business just a few days ago. This is literally the conversation. And I was so excited. And I told her about the wrap and the results. And she was excited about it. I'm like, you should do it too. Well, she was with another company too. I didn't really know that at the time. But her and her mom actually both were not, I didn't personally sponsor both of them, but that was my very first distributor. I never had met her, but my enthusiasm sold her. And I mean, that's how it went. I think I signed up like 11 distributors in my first 30 days. So it was a wild ride. So, uh-oh. Okay, we have like,
I'm not sure who's screen sharing, but somebody's.
oh, there we go.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how, I can't fix that. But it was just sheer enthusiasm. And, you know, that's all I can say.
No, I love it because that's exactly what it is. It's just
Yeah.
being excited. It's on fire, right? You're just
Yeah,
excited.
exactly. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you got to do this with me. That's it.
Yep.
That simple.
Basically how I signed my first distributor too. So
Yeah,
you're right.
exactly.
Thank you. Yeah, it's you guys are probably listening thinking, oh, enthusiasm, like I want a bigger tip. It's like, no, get excited and watch people come to you because so few people are excited about anything anymore in their life, you know? So it's such a good tip. Mama B?
I would just say when I signed my first distributor, again, you all know I was a truck driver, but the little town that I was living in up in North Carolina, I had a couple of really good friends up there and I reached out to them. I reached out to a lot of people, but I think I signed, because I went Emerald in 2 months and I signed basically everyone that, to get me Emerald, I pretty much signed all of the distributors. Like it just exploded. Like, again, people were wanting to cheer the underdog. They wanted to help me. They wanted to help. They knew I was starting my life over. And if you don't ever ask, the answer is always no. So I just reached out to, all of my girlfriends and people that, when Rhonda was saying that the people that would bring you chicken soup if you were sick. So it's those people. And, that first distributor I signed up, she was the one that has followed me all the way up, on my journey going to Triple Diamond. And she's a double diamond, and she's got a double diamond that I signed that's underneath of her. So, you just have to ask the question. And again, you don't, I agree with everyone said, don't prejudge. Don't think, well, they don't need this. You don't know what they need. I mean, I always tell all my team, don't ever try to be someone's banker and say, well, they can't afford these products, because look, for me, a $5,000 emergency room visit when they thought I had a stroke and I didn't have insurance, these products are way cheaper, and me getting my health under control. So don't ever think someone can't afford this. They can't afford not to do this, whether it's product or the business. And that's the way I look at it. So just be ready to just ask as many people as you can until you get a yes. And then all of us got no's. Every single one of us have gotten no's, but that's not going to deter me. They weren't the right person, but I'm going to keep asking because I'm going to get the yeses. You just have to keep asking.
Yep. Yeah, you just got to ask everyone. That's what I did. I'm the messaging queen. I messaged everyone. And then I had 6 distributors lined up and none of them signed. I was so discouraged. It's not going to happen. But I'm so glad I didn't quit over that. You just got to get through it. You got to get through it. Keep going. Ask more people. It's going to happen. That was our last question because I know we're about to hit an hour. But I just wanted to say thank you again to Rhonda, Stacy, and Mama B. Just thank you so much for your time. I know some of you are Eastern. Thank you for staying up late for us. I really love this Zoom. I know it got me fired up and excited, and I'm pretty excited still from conference, but I feel even more inspired. So thank you, ladies, so much, and I hope thank you for recording it, Rhonda, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.